Today I'm going to try to beat the entire game of Pokemon Yellow on minimum battles with a single Arcanine. Arcanine was basically a cruel joke in Generation 1. It got the 9th best base stat total in the game and was even labeled as the legendary Pokemon in the Pokedex. But clearly Game Freak meant that it was legendarily bad because fire types are absolutely hated by Kanto. Even if you can somehow find a way to get through Brock and Misty, by the late game you're getting destroyed by Giovanni, the rival, Lorelei, Lance, and the champion. And the issue all comes down to moveset. But I think I've found a solution. Because while the Pokemon Yellow moveset of Arcanine is absolutely trash, we can actually trade with a Gen 2 cartridge. And that opens up some real possibilities. Via breeding, in Gen 2 we can get access to the move Fire Spin, an egg move, and we can get our level 5 Pokemon to know the move Agility. Now this is important because in a normal run, an Arcanine won't learn any level up moves as it goes through the game. But once we get these two moves on our moveset, we should in theory be able to beat key opponents as we go through the run. The problem? We're also going to have to deal with Disobedience. So can even a broken moveset make Arcanine our best boy, or are we going to have to put him back into Obedience School? Let's find out. Now, all of these standard rules are in the description, but one special rule that I do every time that we do a trade back challenge is that we have to lose to Rival 1. We obviously could not get the experience from this fight, so we're simply going to throw the Rival 1 fight and make our way straight through to get the Pokedex. From that point onward, we can use our traded Arcanine as usual, because after all, in Gen 1 you can trade even with only one Pokemon on your team, so after this fight we can simply trade our starter to another cartridge and get back our run Pokemon that we're going to use for this entire challenge. And of course, as a Fire-type Pokemon, we completely destroy the single required bug catcher in Viridian Forest, and the boosted XP will get us to level 6, which is the same level that a normal Arcanine would go into the Brock fight. But now we have to find out if this moveset is enough to beat the first major wall in this challenge. So here against Brocky Boy, I'm going to lead off with an agility just to make sure I outspeed everything. And now we're going to go for the Fire Spin. In fact, we probably actually want to burn this one. So that's probably the strat, is burn it and then go for the Fire Spins. So we're just looking for like a turn 1 burn. So at least with burn, he's now got a lower attack stat. So if he does hit us, he's not going to do as much damage, which helps us to get through this fight. Oh, he gets a critical hit. Are you kidding me? Come on. This Pokemon should pretty much never crit us. So we do knock that one out though. Here we immediately get tackled down. Okay. Now this fight in theory is a little bit easier in Pokemon Red and Blue because the Geodude can use Defense Curl. Here, I mean, we can technically just start Fire Spinning on this one, just going for as much damage as we can, just hoping that he doesn't get a move. And there we go, finally. Okay, so took 10 minutes to get through, but we did manage to make it go. Now it counted one random optional battle here that's not actually legit. There were no optional battles here. It's just because I resetted the run at the start and refought Rival 2. We found 13 resets. It's not great, but we were able to beat Brock on minimum battles with this Pokemon. And with that, we've got a 10.5 minute Brock split. And with the first major wall out of the way, we should in theory be much better in this next section. Because while Misty's Water Gym should prove to be pretty tough for a fire type, we can get access to the move Dig, which is 100 base power in Generation 1, and with our massive 110 attack stat that's on par with Pokemon like Snorlax, Arcanine should do more than enough damage against Starmie and Staryu to knock them out. However, we have to now deal with a much bigger problem. You see, in Generation 1 of Pokemon, obedience is determined by which badges you have. But the first badge does not give access to a higher threshold of obedience. In fact, the only badges that increase the obedience of a traded Pokemon are the Cascade badge, the Rainbow badge, the Marsh badge, and the Earth badge. So in general, a traded Pokemon will always be obedient up to level 10, but then, in order for it to become obedient at higher levels, you have to get those badges. And because even a slow level of Pokemon with the boosted XP from being traded will always exceed level 10 basically immediately after Brock, we're going to have to do this entire next section with Disobedience. Now that may not sound like a super big issue since we have really good stats and we're going to have pretty good moves. I mean, Takedown is already a 95 base powered normal move that should destroy basically everything. But will it work out in practice? Let's check out how it goes against Jesse and James. So here I think we have to go for like Ember to start. Okay, so we do knock that one out. Ember's doing decent damage. Oh, we were like in a speed tie there. Let's try again. Okay, so we get a 2-hitter there by going Takedown, but we're just getting Bite a bunch of times. Like Bite from the Meowth is kind of OP at this point in the game. Okay, so we knock that one out. We use Agility. Now we're using Fire Spin on the Meowth. We knock it out. Good. We get to level 15 here. We burn the Coughing, so we're poisoned. He's burned. Okay, and we just barely get through with 1 HP remaining. Oh, that was so nerve-wracking. We were poisoned. He was burned, and it was just a matter of which one of us was gonna faint first as we were using Fire Spin. Oh, that's stupid. So in spite of our great stats, even Jesse and James are incredibly tough to get through when you have a disobedient Pokemon, and it's something that I don't expect to get much better as we go into the Rival 2 fight. But honestly, that's probably the only route we can take if we're going to progress in this run, because Misty will simply be way too hard to get through at our current level. So I decided to quickly defeat the one junior trainer that is required inside of Misty's gym, since the Goldeen can't use any water type moves, but even this Pokemon beats us due to Disobedience. But with a couple attempts, we can make it go. So with that, it's time to see if we can beat the rival, especially with his sand attacking little Sandshrew. Is this going to be another 20 plus resets, or can we get through in decent time?
I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye.
Okay, so we one-shot there. Here we do get the Fire Spin to land on the Sandshrew, and we knock it out. Cool. But the problem is just his 4 Pokemon. Every time this is the problem here. Here we're getting sand attacked to oblivion, so I'm just going to reset there. Okay, Ember appears to be like a 2-hitter. So we did manage to knock that one out, but we just couldn't even land a hit on that Rattata after that. Oh, this is rough. Okay, we get to Rattata this time with no accuracy drops. Critical hit one-shots there. Here we get an Ember and an Ember. There we go. We finally managed to get through that rival. We're not looking great, 24 resets up to this point, but considering that we're disobedient, it's not that bad, actually. And with Rival 2 defeated, fortunately nothing else on the way to Bill's house is that difficult. We might need 1 or 2 resets here and there just due to bad luck, but we can win these fights. That brings us to the innocent bystander who, in spite of the fact that yes, again, he takes a couple of attempts, we are able to ultimately beat and get access to the Dig TM. But even with that out of the way, we are not going to go straight to Misty. We can still fight a couple more trainers on the way to Viridian City and take on Rivals 3. I think he's going to be much easier given the fact that Dig will do a lot more damage than our other moves. So I think this one should be possible within at least 1 or 2 resets. We don't like that we use Dig instead. Like, stop using Dig on a Spearow. After that, we're kind of fine with using Dig because it's our strongest move. Here we nearly got a 2-hitter. We get a 3-hit range there instead. And we just could not hit on the final Eevee there. Okay, so we do knock that one out. Knock that one out. This one is a 2-hitter. We do get it down though. We go Fire Spin on Eevee. Yes. Come on. No, don't let him sand attack you like crazy. No, don't go to sleep. Oh God. Come on, Henry. No, my dog. My dog. He just doesn't want to obey, and then he hits himself and just dies. Oh man, Henry, you were supposed to be the one. You were supposed to be pseudo legendary. Didn't you watch the anime? You're supposed to be like really OP good. The issue is, as we gain more levels, we become more disobedient, relatively speaking. So we end up in these situations where like what should be an incredibly simple fight is actually more and more difficult to get through as we get later and later into this run. Okay, so we do knock that one out though. We're 2 Eevee. We get a nice Ember on Eevee. A second Ember, a third Ember. There we go. We finally manage to get to level 24 while beating the rival. And now we have no choice. We just have to go and fight against Misty. Okay, so here against Misty, we used Ember instead. No, come on, obey me. Yes, dig does the job there. We get a dig there, and we just could not dig enough on that one. Like, this one is going to come down basically to crazy good dig luck. But yeah, the ideal run, I think, is that we get an agility first, and then we're able to just dig on both Pokemon. Like, we can see that, oh, there we go. Yes, the 2 digs hit. There we go. Yes. Yes, when we land the dig and she doesn't have the X defend, it's just a 2-hitter there on the Starmie. So there we go. 35 minutes to get to this point. It says 1 optional battle. There's not actually an optional battle, but there is 1 TM, 41 resets so far, so it's definitely not great. But now we are obedient.
And because Arcanine is in the slow level up group, we've basically guaranteed that it's going to be obedient for the rest of this run. In spite of the fact that it is getting 1.5 times experience as a traded Pokemon, it still shouldn't exceed level 30 by the time that we get to Erica, and then we can raise our obedience all the way up to level 50, and at that point, we're probably not going to get anywhere near level 50 until we're already at the league. So now I think it's time to get a little get back with this Arcanine. We're going to go ahead and destroy the trainers in this next section, starting with Lieutenant Surge. Our super effective dig, I think, might just one-shot.
So here against Lieutenant Surge, I'm going to lead off with a dig right here, Thunderbolts, but dig is a 1-hit KO. Easy victory. 41 resets, still 1 TM. Really not hard at all. Oh, you deserved that too, Lieutenant Surge. You deserved that.
And with Surge out of the way, we can now destroy the Wrapping Lats. Dig makes the self-destruct Hiker an absolute joke. And with only 1 required trainer inside of Erica's gym, we're at level 29 as we go into the Erica fight.
So here against Erica, I think we lead off with the Fire Spin on this one, since Tangela, you know, it's not like it can do anything super strong against us, but we just kind of want to whittle it down. Here she's going to drop Acid. Here now we do manage to actually hit the Fire Spins here. I'm going to dig now. Let's just knock that one out. We get to level 30 right there. Still obedient though, as we get to the final Gloom, and it knocks us out with Acid. But man, if we had just managed to hit, I think we would have gotten that. If Dig will just do it, it does. See what the damage from Dig is here. Less than half. She's lowering our defense though, and that is a badge boost in attack. And here Ember will just finish it. There we go. So we get through Erica there, and that guarantees obedience now until level 50. And because of the level curves, we're basically never going to get above level 50 on minimum battles before we fight Sabrina, who raises it to 70. Then Giovanni makes all Pokemon obedient, but no Pokemon on minimum battles reaches level 70. Unless you're running like a trade back version of like a fast level up Pokemon, then maybe you could reach level 70 at the end of the game with all the rare candies and all that jazz. I'm not sure. But here, we can be pretty confident that we're not going to deal with that.
So with our obedience situation out of the way, we can now move on knowing that when we reset a ton of times, it's going to be because Kanto hates fire-type Pokemon. But this next section really shouldn't be too bad. We have Dig to cover all of the ghost and rock-type Pokemon that we might encounter, and we can use Ember and Fire Spin in order to get through opponents like Koga with his bug types. The problem is that we're not going to get access to any new moves in this section. We don't get an upgraded fire-type move until we beat Blaine, and there's nothing in the Celadon department store that's really worth our time. And given that some of the best TMs in the game, things like Body Slam and Rest, are locked behind optional trainers on the SSN, we're just going to have to move ahead with this moveset for the next couple of gyms. But I'm already planning ahead. I'm going to save all the items that I can and sell them for money, because by the end of this run, we're going to get access to Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam I think will be super important so that we can actually knock out opponents after we fire spin them down into a range. Unfortunately, that's not going to come in until at least when we get through the Safari Zone, so for now, let's just go ahead and progress and take on the Rocket Game Corner and rival number 4.
So here it's time for Jesse and James. This should be an easy one. Here we're just going to dig on the first coughing. Easy one hitter. Meowth, I think we can just Ember on it a couple times. Nice. Out comes Ekans. Another dig. Easy win. And with that done, it's time for Giovanni. Let's go. So here I'm just going to dig on his Onix. It's a 2-hit KO, but he misses the rock throw, so easy enough. We level up to level 32 and now dig one shot to the Rhyhorn. Just going to stick with the digs here. So looking to be a 2-hit KO on Persian. Easy game. Easy game. So here it looks like 2 Embers to knock out Fearow. Here against the Vulpix, we can simply dig. That's a 1-hitter. We're going to dig on the Magnemite too. Easy 1-hitter. Sandshrew comes out. I'm going to Fire Spin this one, just to make sure that we knock it out efficiently. Nice. And here against Eevee, just give it a dig. Nice, easy win. So Rival 4 is not a problem, but next time we fight him, he's going to have the Vaporeon. And that's when he's going to start to get really scary. The Vaporeon is nothing to mess with because it has high HP, and we don't have anything good to use against a Vaporeon, just neutrally effective moves and Fire Spin, basically.
So with those 3 trainers out of the way, we easily progress in the game. Now, in general, the real weakness that we're most worried about with this Arcanine is the Water type and, of course, the Ground type. Rock types, we can simply use Dig, which is super effective, and knock them out pretty easily. Now, you might think, given our high stats, that we don't have to worry that much about these moves, especially at this point in the game, because we're going to be at a higher level than every opponent anyway, but we can see here that even a Marowak poses a little bit of a challenge.
So here we've made it to Ghosty Mama. Here I think we just want to go Fire Spin because the Bone Club is just so OP against us. It headbutts us. Oh, we get wrecked by Ghosty Mama. We just missed too many Fire Spins. We just get wrecked again. Like, I think we have to land the Fire Spins here to have any shot. Or maybe Ember. Yeah, 3 Embers does it. So there we go. We get through. Let's save the game. Let's fight Team Rocket. So here I'm just going to Ember a couple times on the Meowth. And now we'll go for our dig. We get a 1-shot there on the Arbok. Not quite a 1-hitter on the Weezing, but still an easy win.
So at this point, we're all the way up to 44 resets with our Arcanine. And we can see that ground types are going to pose a major issue as we go through the run. We can easily make our way through anything that is weak to dig, but once we come up against an opponent that actually does ground type moves against us, we're probably getting wrecked. Fortunately, we're not going to have to deal with any more ground type moves until we get to Giovanni in the 8th gym, but that one might just prove to be borderline impossible. In fact, when I did this challenge before on my channel, we completely hit a wall at Giovanni and it was impossible to progress without going for some kind of broken strategy. Something like double team or substitute would get you through eventually, but if those are the only strategies that get us through, there's really no point in doing the run. But for now, we can just make our way down to Fuchsia City where it's time to take on Koga. And given that he has basically bug-type Pokemon, we should be pretty good here. The issue is going to be Toxic. If he lands Toxic on us, I think we get wrecked. But if we can manage to simply Agility and use Fire Spin, this may turn out to be a really easy battle.
Alright, so Koga attempt number 1. I'm going to lead off with an Agility because I want to guarantee that I outspeed the final Venomoth. So Ember is only like effectively 2 Fire Spins. You know, it's not that much stronger than just 2 Fire Spin hits. So if we see them like in that sort of range, then probably we should just go for it. But okay, here we get a Psychic. Here Ember will just finish that one off. Venomoth comes out. We are faster thanks to Agility. He X attacks here, but he doesn't heal in battle is the key. Let's see. His defense is a lot lower than his special. Let's see if we can just get it. Oh, we got so close. But Ember finishes it, and there we go. Koga goes down. We get the badge boost in speed, And that also means that we can now use Surf outside of battles. So we can make our way down to Blaine to get a badge boost in Special. And then I think we're pretty much golden. And with Koga going down, we now have enough money that we can actually afford to get the Hyper Beam TM. So I'm simply going to go back to Celadon City, sell all my items, and take care of that right now. Now this is incredibly tedious, so what do I do while I waste this time? It's time for Teo's random stories of... So we're just going to sit here and hold auto A for a minute while I drink this nice Craft Boss fruit tea. That's right, it's Japanese, so they actually call it fruits tea. Oh man, I have to like hold it close to my face so that it will actually show. Yeah, but this is Boss, guys. Boss coffee, but in this case technically tea. So yeah, I want a sponsorship someday from Boss. You know, I want them to be like, yeah, he's a boss when it comes to Pokemon, so we're gonna give him money to promote Boss. It's like literally the spiffing Brit Yorkshire tea. Grab a cup of Yorkshire tea. I'm gonna be like, drink like a boss. Let's get it. I think Boss of Coffee might be like the only company that I would ever truly shill out for. Just because when I came to Japan originally, I remember first seeing Boss Coffee and just immediately saying, I have to drink that. I have to try that because it's called Boss. And it looks brilliant. It's got the like old guy smoking a pipe on it. Like, why? Oh, Japan, never change, never change. And thus concludes Teo's random stories of living in Japan. And while I was saying all that, I completely messed up and bought the Dragon Rage TM instead of the Hyper Beam TM. So we're gonna come back and do this again. Fortunately for now, we don't really have that much need of Hyper Beam. We should be able to get through Blaine using just Dig. And then with Fire Blast, I think it will be enough to at least progress all the way up to Giovanni. Alright, so here we go. First things first, I'm setting up agility here. I want to be faster than these Pokemon. We can Dig now, and this appears to be a 2-hitter on the Ninetales. Okay. We leveled up. Here, Dig is also going to be a 2-hitter there on the Rapidash. Let's see if we can get better luck here. Here, he goes Quick Attack. Misses a Tail Whip. That's fine. Okay, he misses a Fire Spin there, so we get to knock that one out very easily. Okay, he hits the Flamethrower. That's fine. Reflect. He takedowns on us. Oh, and there he missed. Yes! Yes, there we go. Oh, we defeated a level 54 Arcanine with a level 38 one. Oh, that's stupid. Okay, so it took an hour and 8 minutes, but the legendary Henry, just short of 50 resets, has managed to beat, you know, another gym. So we're making progress, guys. We still have to beat Sabrina and Giovanni. We have to beat Rival 5. But yeah, this is legit. And with Blaine going down, it is time to learn Fire Blast immediately. This move is going to be on our moveset all the way till the end of the game because it's basically the best move that we have with an Arcanine, and we're just going to have to see if it turns out to be enough. Now at this point, we don't have any choice how to progress. Because we have beaten Blaine, the only non-optional trainers that we have available to us are to go to Silph Co and fight Rival 5, make our way to Sabrina, and then it's just decided that we have to go directly to Giovanni. So let's see how this next section goes as we try the Rival 5 fight for the first time. Considering that his Sandslash doesn't have any ground type moves at this point, this is probably not going to be too bad, but that Vaporeon could turn out to be a major wall. So here I think the strategy is basically to Fire Blast here. Okay, we do manage to get through that one, fortunately. We're going to go Dig on Magneton. Here I think we agility up right here. Okay, so we get to knock that one out. Kadabra is a one-hitter. We leveled up right there. We get hit by a water gun, but we're doing good damage here. We just need to land the Dig. There we go. Oh, the Rival, he had no chance. No shot. You know, if he had one shot and one opportunity, we just took it off of him. We just completely wrecked him. So now we can come and fight Jesse and James, against whom this should now be easy. Let's just dig there. Let's dig on Arbok. And now I think Meowth deserves a Fire Blast. Oh yes. Oh yes. So we get to level 42 right there. Now let's just go ahead and drop an Ether on Dig, because that is the move for Giovanni here, I think. Let's go. So here we go. Giovanni time. Dig. One-shots. Here against the Persian, let's give it the Fire Blast. Let's let him feel the blasty blast. Yes. Dig on the Rhyhorn. Rex. Nidoqueen, get the dig. Can you dig it? Yeah, there we go. So we do manage to win that fight. We may have to drop a ton of rare candies just before Giovanni though, because that is going to be a tough battle late in the run. Not like, just no lie, that is going to be a rough one.
But before we can make our way to Giovanni, we of course have to beat Sabrina. And Sabrina shouldn't be too bad here. Basically, my strategy is going to be to use agility first, and hopefully get an X defend or a flash miss turn 1, and then we should be able to dig her down.
So here we go. First things first, I'm going for agility to outspeed everything. Now let's give a dig. Oh, we missed. Okay, but then it's a one-hitter. Dig here, she X defends. Fire Blast just finishes that one off. Here we can dig on Alakazam. It recovers. Fire Blast does really good damage here though. And there we go, we knock her out. So, level 44 as we beat Sabrina there. An hour 14 to get to this point. Still not that bad. And 49 resets, 2 TMs. So we haven't had a reset in a minute here now, since we've gotten through Blaine. But now we have to go fight Giovanni, and this is where I think this run just gets stupid hard. Like, stupid hard.
So this next fight is really the reason why we had to have agility on this moveset. We will be outsped by both Dugtrio and Persian in this battle. So the biggest issue that we're going to have is that the first Dugtrio is going to be able to one-shot us with either Fissure, Dig, or with Earthquake. We can use agility in order to outspeed though, so if it uses Dig turn 1, we could get the speed to outspeed it and then dig ourselves to avoid the damage. But after that, we're going to just have to get insane luck with the Fire Spins on both of the Nidos and the Rhydon, so let's see if it can work.
So this team is tough, but I think the first thing we have to do is use agility. So we do outspeed here. We missed the Fire Blast, but he can just go like a guard spec, or, you know, like he can miss. Fissure, nice. Now Fire Blast gets the burn there. So he also does a lot less damage here. And here when he digs, we can just dig. Just time him out perfectly. So here, let's keep going agility for a minute. Okay, so we get that one. Now I think we want to whittle this Nidoqueen down a little bit. Now let's go for the dig. We get the one shot. Fire Spin here. We're sticking with the Fire Spin for now. Let's see if dig will do it. It does. Out comes Rhydon. This is the scary one because we have to land. We did not land the Fire Spin there, so we lose.
And it was in this fight that I was finding that level 45 just doesn't work very well. We're leveling up in the middle of the fight, which means that we're losing our badge boosts. And we really need to keep the badge boost glitch as we go into the Rhydon so that we can actually have extra power to knock it out. So it was at this point that I finally decided to drop some rare candies. I used 5 to get to level 50, which will prevent that level up, and now we might just have a shot. And as we can see from the sped up footage here, I sat here and reset on this battle for a ridiculous amount of time, because it really just comes down to getting perfect luck on all of these opponents. We have to get the perfect luck on the first Dugtrio in order to get through. Then we have to get perfect luck on both of the Nidos so that they never hit us. And we have to get the luck so that we never get hit by the Rhydon. Now fortunately, Fire Spin, even though it's resisted by Rhydon, it's not like Rhydon has great special, so it's still going to do enough damage that we can slowly whittle it down And once we get it in the range that Dig will knock it out, we should have a chance to get through this.
Yes, Henry, you did it. So last time, when I did this run with a normal Arcanine on minimum battles, there was just no way to get through this fight without Double Team. Double Team was the solution. Here, Fire Spin and Agility are enough to be able to get through that eventually. It's not great. We're now up to 68 resets, but we have managed to complete that fight. Took an hour and 27 minutes to get here. The League and the Champion are not going to be kind to this Pokemon, but we still are in the running. We still have a chance. That's all we're asking for. It's all we ever wanted in this one, is just a chance, guys. A chance. Oh, come on. Oh, this is beautiful. So we have to keep Fire Spin no matter what. Like, that just has to be one of our moves forever. But everything else we can kind of debate. I mean, obviously Agility also has to be on the moveset. So we one-shot there. We one-shot there. Here, we're going to be faster than everything, so we'll just dig right there. Out comes Ninetales, so let's finish the Agility setup here. And here now we can just dig in one shot. Nice. We're going to dig on the Kadabra. Nice. And now I think we go dig. And it only knows Hydro Pump and it missed. So there we go. Oh, we got through the Rival 6 fight. And I believe that's the same situation on the final Vaporeon, that it's going to know Hydro Pump. And that's what it's going to want to use against us. So we're just going to have to get the luck there, I think, to make it work.
So with the Rival 6 fight finished, we can now make our way to the Pokemon League. And at an hour and a half, it's really not that bad to be getting there with a Fire-type Pokemon. But the true gauntlet starts now. Lorelei is going to absolutely be a wall in this one, and I see no way that we're going to get through Lance or the Champion easily. So we're going to make our way to the power plant to get an extra rare candy, the Reflect TM, and a PP up in this one, as well as getting the items that we need so that we can now properly get access to the Hyper Beam TM. And with that move properly available to us, I'm now going to pick up extra TMs that we might just need in order to get through this section. I think that Mimic might actually be useful here, given that we might be able to mimic a move that allows us to beat the Champion at the end. Though I'm going to avoid that TM if at all possible. I really don't like to use generic strats as much as possible in these runs, but this might just be our last-ditch effort if nothing else is working. But with all that out of the way, it's now time to just get a bunch of full restores and make our way for our first attempt at Lorelei.
So here, probably half of this is going to be the Elite Four, but we've got to start off here against Lorelei and her Dugong. I'm going Dig turn 1 because it has a higher chance of using the move Rest on turn 2. And if we get her to rest, then we should be able to set up our agilities just fine. So as long as she's damaged, she has a higher chance to use Rest. Okay, she used Rest there. So that lets us do this. Now we can start setting up the Fire Spins, and we missed. We got to keep in mind, Fire Blast is effectively about as strong as it's like 8 Fire Spin hits is equivalent to 1 Fire Blast. So if we ever have a situation where 8 hits from Fire Spin would knock an opponent out, we should just Fire Blast them. But we actually have to hit our moves. Come on, come on. Arcanine, I believe in you.
But once again in this fight, the problem is leveling up midway through, so I decided to drop a couple rare candies, get myself to level 55, and see if that would enable me to get deeper into the run without actually leveling up. And it does seem like it's working. We are now making it deeper into this fight, where we can even get our first glimpses of the Lapras as we keep going. The problem is that we just need perfect luck from this point on out. And it's going to be a matter of landing enough Fire Spins that we can actually Fire Blast the opponent down. So in spite of the fact that we came into this fight with 68 resets so far in the challenge, we're quickly approaching 100 total resets on just Lorelei. That being said, I don't want to use all my rare candies here if I can help it, because we still have to deal with Lance and the Champion, and badge boosts might be important in those fights too. So even as we're coming up on 2 hours of real time at 4 times speed in this one, I think we just have to keep resetting in order to try to get this fight to go. You know, it's really just all or nothing on this fight. You know, that's it. At this point, we're just all or nothing on this one fight. Okay, agility, fire spin, fire spin, fire spin, fire spin, fire spin, fire spin, fire blast, okay? Fire blast there is okay. Fire blast gets surfed. Gonna go for my last agility here. Okay, we get the burn there. So fire blast will finish that one. Let's just see if dig is enough. It is. Okay, fire spin. We have one additional badge boost here even. See what fire blast does. Oh yes, we get the crit. Yes, there we go. We beat Lorelei at nearly 2 hours. Oh man, that was brutal. Brutal, I say. But here we can heal. We can throw on an elixir. We still have to deal with Lance and the champion. But let's just take a little rest here on Bruno, I think. So here we go. Bruno attempt number 1. I'm going to start by setting up my agilities right here. He rock slides me. Look how little he did with rock slide though. Dig gets the one hitter. Hitmonchan get fire blasted. Nice. Hitmonlee get fire blasted. Nice. Second Onyx gets a dig. Machamp fire blast almost finishes it, but we'll just dig to finish him off. Easy game as we get to the level 60. So that was perfectly fine. We're just going to elixir. Let's do a full restore. Let's save the game. Let's fight Agatha. So here we are, Agatha attempt number 1. We're going to set up agility first. And now, I honestly think we go fire spin. We're trying to break her substitute. Nice, her substitute broke. She sets up a new one, but we don't care about Mega Drain, so we just wreck that one. Perfect. Golbat, get fire blasted. Nice. And now from here, I think we just dig the whole way. So that's a one hitter. That's a one hitter on Arbok. Final Gengar comes out and gets one shot. So Henry doesn't struggle with Agatha at all. Oh, and now we can't go back. No, they won't let us. They won't let us go. Lance is like, I'm here for you. I'm gonna totally wreck your Arcanine. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. I think it's time for the Hyper Beam, guys. Over dig. Think this is the play. Let's go. Let's try it, Lancey boy. So let's look at this first. I just want to see what Hyper Beam does. Like, what is the range? Okay. So if we get him down to about 33%, we can simply Hyper Beam him and win. And we are faster. So here we just have to basically get him down about a third. About this range, and we do get the one hitter. Now this first Dragonair does not know any water or ice type moves. It is going for the whatchamacall, the paralysis, but here we can get these to hit, and then we were fully paralyzed. So the only issue is that we can be paralyzed by that second Dragonair. Now, the other thing I realized in this fight is that if we simply get a critical hit with Hyper Beam against that Gyarados, we can one-hit KO it. And then we simply need to set up our agilities. If we have agility set up, we will outspeed against the Aerodactyl, and that's enough to guarantee that for the rest of this fight, we just have to get the right kind of luck. And even though we can get paralyzed by the first Dragonair, agility actually recalculates your speed, so as long as we still have one more agility to set up after getting paralyzed, we can actually still outspeed all of our opponents. Now this still takes a massive amount of luck because we're going for a critical hit first and then just hoping to be able to knock out the rest of the Pokemon fairly efficiently. But if we can just get enough Fire Spins to hit and then manage to knock them out with either Hyper Beam or with Fire Blast, we should be able to get through this one eventually. Now we're out of rare candies at this point, so it's really all or nothing. Either we can get through this fight or we can't, and it's just about the number of resets that it's going to take. Our score is slowly going down as we take more and more resets on this fight.
Okay, there we go. We got that one. Knock out that one. Second Dragonair goes down. Nice. Swift isn't that bad. Now we can just go into Fire Spin here on the Aerodactyl. Let's just try to get to the Dragonite with as much HP as possible. Okay. When he flies, we're gonna just have to use another agility there. But Fire Blast does knock him out. We get the burn there. So his Hyper Beam doesn't hit nearly as hard. We can set up another agility. And now let's Fire Spin him. He's burned. He hits Thunder. We get paralyzed. But Hyper Beam ends it. Yes! There we go. Finally! 2 hours and 20 minutes to get through that. But man, oh man, oh man. Henry has defeated Lance on minimum battles without going double team. Compared to my last run with an Arcanine on minimum battles, we are doing so much better. Oh god, but now we have to fight Vaporeon team. Oh, this is gonna be terrible. Okay, I'm just gonna go with my moveset as is. I don't think there's any other strategy than that. We're just gonna restore all the PP, save the game. Let's go. Let's go. All right, so here the champion is going to present some serious issues for us. Starting with Sandslash, it knows Earthquake now. So the best thing I think we can do is take advantage of the fact that it doesn't have great special. Let's see if Fire Blast can one-shot it. It does not. So our strategy has to become a Fire Spin into Fire Blast strat. Here we can go Agility, and I think we can just one-shot there. And now Exeggutor is one of these Pokemon where I think we can just Fire Spin it for a minute and then Fire Blast it down. That's fine. Ninetales comes out. We're going to finish our agility setup here. And now I think we just Hyper Beam it. Okay. But so we learned in that last fight that the strategy against the champions, Sandslash, is to go for the Fire Spin first. Once we get a couple hits from Fire Spin, now Fire Blast should finish it off. Now we go Agility and Hyper Beam. Nice. Let's see what Fire Blast does from full health. So Exeggutor, he managed to land Stomp on us, but that's fine. So now Agility and Agility. We kind of like the Tail Whip here because nothing's going to use physical moves against us. But let's just see what Hyper Beam does here. Okay, it knocks that one out. Here, I'm going Fire Blast on the Magneton. It's going to be a 2-hitter. And now the question is purely how do we do against the Vaporeon? We have a much higher attack stat. I'm just going to try Hyper Beam once. Okay, it does that much. So we have to get it down about a quarter, and then we should be able to win this fight. Now, of course, resetting for the luck to get this Arcanine through this fight is insane. And as I'm sitting here just resetting over and over and over again, I accidentally started a new game, which reset my timers, all my counters, everything. But we were up around 150, 160 resets at that point, and then we're just continuing to reset on this battle. So clearly this is not consistent, but it is a possible fight. If we simply get the luck to get to the Vaporeon like we already showed, which certainly doesn't happen every time because of this Sandslash, but once we can get back there, I mean, the Pokemon in between aren't really that hard for us. As long as we don't get terrible luck, we should be able to knock out the next 4 Pokemon, and it's just a matter of getting to Vaporeon.
We can knock out Vaporeon in one of two ways. We can either get a critical hit Hyper Beam, which will one-hit KO it, or we can get enough Fire Spins to land and knock it out that way. So the question is simply, how many resets is this going to take, and how long will it take in order to get that luck to happen?
You know, so like the Sand Slash, yeah, we have to get the range to knock it out. This one, we don't care quite as much as long as we don't get the accuracy drop or the special drop. Here, we really don't care about what Exeggutor does because it's not going to like Leech Seed us or anything. Might put us to sleep, but that's not the end of the world. Here, we just need to not get terrible confusion luck. So here, let's just Hyper Beam it down. Cool. Here, we'll go for the Fire Spin, followed by the Hyper Beam here. Nice. Here, Fire Spin. We have to get it down to about a quarter health remaining. We just barely survived the Hydro Pump there. Okay, it missed the Hydro Pump there. Can we get the range? Yes! Yes, we got the critical hit. Oh my gosh. So everything got reset stupidly here, but in the end, we were able to ultimately get this one to go. So there we go. Finally, we beat the game on minimum battles with an Arcanine without having to deal with any of that nonsense. Just none of it. Oh man. Oh man. We have beaten the game finally with the legendary Arcanine. He is the legendary Pokemon, level 63. Was it good? No. Was it consistent? Absolutely not. But by doing a trade back Arcanine with this moveset, it is possible. Possible is the key, right? It's possible to beat the game on these settings with this Pokemon. So that does it for this one. We have managed to beat the entire game of Pokemon Yellow on minimum battles with a single Arcanine. And just like that, we've done it. So I hope you guys enjoy this one. This was crazy. I'll see you guys in the next one. I just have no words. Later.